Hi, okay, so my name is Maddie McCoy, and I am relatively new to the concept of entrepreneurship, specifically in the space of network marketing. And my husband and I found a company that we partnered with when we were 25 years old. I was working a very traditional job at my alma mater college campus, and this kind of fell into my lap. Wasn't looking for it. Actually, my husband, Brendan, he was the one who really saw the potential of it and said Maddie, you should go for it. And I guess I was more open-minded than I thought. I didn't really have any stigmas around it or any maybe concerns with if I would be good at it. I just didn't have any experience, but I knew that what I had found, which is not why I'm even making these videos, was something that I deeply connected with and worked really well for me, and that really surprised me. And so I genuinely thought that other people should know about it. So that aside, we're 3.5 years into this journey. We've had a pretty decent level of success with it. Through gratefully some amazing mentorship and coaching from people who have been in the entrepreneurial space for 8 years and have been super successful, or I should say they've been with the company for 8 years, have a lot more life experiences with other things. And that's one of the beautiful things that I have found about network marketing, is that you get that level of mentorship included in that you get to follow the clues and the footsteps of those who have trudged the way ahead of you. So I've been somebody who throughout my life, so this is what I'm getting at, is this book, likes to read, but likes to read romance novels for fun. I've really dove in deep into Colleen Hoover and Nicholas Sparks, and some people wouldn't even put those two authors in the same sentence, but I really love romance novels. And I've, now attended, multiple personal development conferences with the company, and they bring in a lot of guest speakers. And I've really always, even though I didn't know it was called personal development, enjoyed the concept. I am a deep thinker. I am somebody who likes to know the why and the how of things. And like I said, I genuinely am more open-minded than I thought, and I'm really proud of that. I'm also somebody who's pretty determined. I'm kind of a go-getter type of personality. And so I've tried in the past to read personal development books. I don't even know if that's doing that category of books justice. I don't really like the word self-help for whatever reason. It just sounds like, yes, everybody needs help, but they can help themselves. So I've never really liked that label, but you know what I'm saying, business books, mindset books, books that in the past I had always kind of thought well, those aren't fun, and I like reading for fun and to rest my mind and take a break from screens and being on. So this is a challenge for me, because it's going to be my first book that I read from start to finish and take it seriously. The only other book that I have read that I enjoyed, but I didn't take notes along the way, I didn't do something like this where I processed it, was actually a book that my book club chose, and it was Daring Greatly by Brené Brown, and I loved it. I read that before I even got into this entrepreneurship journey, and just really uncovered that I align very much with the sense that our vulnerability is our greatest strength. So I don't have any background, making videos like this, or I don't even know if people are even going to watch this, but it kind of draws myself accountable for actually following through on this and sharing my journey more with a larger audience, which is something that I've been wanting to do for honestly a couple of years. So the book that I'm reading which my husband has read and he's going to read again. We actually didn't even have to buy the book when we were told to like actually read this because we had it on our shelf, is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And I just read the preface, or what do we even call those? Just being raw here and sharing my journey. Like the intro, the preface, the author's intro, the general intro. So I didn't even get to chapter 1 yet. I didn't even know what this book was about. I thought it was going to be really dense because it was really like an older book. So I think I was like even probably a little insecure about the fact that I could even comprehend it. And we are also kindly sent by the people that we work closely with in our business the workbook to go along with it. So I'm really, really excited about doing this alongside you and documenting my journey. And hopefully, you know, if you haven't read this book, after you watch a couple of these videos, you decide that you are worthy of trying it too. But when I opened kind of the intro pages, and read them slowly. The first question at the top of the first page is, what do you want most? And that's a super loaded question that maybe as I get more comfortable making these videos, I'll divulge my own like wants and thoughts to you. But like that is something that before I even, or once we got started with our journey with this company and journey to like better health and better mental health and better just like health in our marriage, and I mean better health all around, to be honest, we were asked like what do we really want? And I think that a lot of people, myself included, wander through life actually not like taking the time to ask that question. To be honest, in college, I really, really struggled declaring a major because I didn't know what I wanted. To the point where I was like paralyzed from it for a little while. Like it was really, really challenging for me. I think I was also at the time afraid that if I picked something, then it was going to be permanent and that I couldn't change my mind. And as silly as that sounded, like it was a very real fear for me. And maybe you can relate to that. So I've gotten a lot better at like trusting myself and identifying what I want, and also like asking myself that question more and more and being okay if the answer changes. But I'm learning that like we all kind of secretly know, we just have to put ourselves in a place enough to listen. And I'm not really talking about a meditative place. I'm just talking about like a quiet place where we really ask ourselves and think about it. And if you take the pressure off of yourself, it can be really fun to think about what you want. I will say one of the things that I have always wanted that now I've gotten crystal clear on, like it's something that is not just a bucket list item for me. It's something that I really want to do. Is I grew up playing tennis all through childhood, all through school, all through college. I really, really, really want to go to Wimbledon and have strawberries and cream, which if you know anything about tennis, like that's what they serve there courtside while I'm watching a professional tennis match. Like that's something that I will do in my lifetime. And strawberries have a significant, wow, I'm just going to this might be a longer first video. Strawberries have a significant meaning to me. Again, that's something that I didn't really identify until kind of this journey of self-discovery. But my dad is an accountant. He's going to be retiring in the next year. And he used to say to my sister and I, we shared a room when he would tuck us in at bedtime. We'd ask him like, Dad, why do you have to go to work? And he would say, I have to go to work because I need to be able to have money for us to get strawberries at the farmer's market. And our family loved strawberries. Like my mom loves strawberries. We would eat them like popcorn, basically, like those fresh, trays of strawberries that you would get at a strawberry patch or the farmer's market in the summertime. And that was just like my dad's way of explaining to me why he had to go to work. And so like between that and then the strawberries and cream in Wimbledon and what that means for tennis, like I've always kind of identified subconsciously until recently and pretty consciously now, like strawberries as a sign of wealth. Even when Brendan and I were first engaged and we were working our first jobs and had very little money and we were working through our budget, I said, I don't care if I have to have 1-ply toilet paper. I just want to be able to have strawberries in our refrigerator 365 days a year, because strawberries in Wisconsin in the winter are pretty expensive. And I just wanted that to be something that we could always have. So yeah, strawberries are kind of a significant thing to me. So that's one of the things that I want is to be able to go to Wimbledon and have that moment, because I think it's really going to make the little girl version of me very, very proud. So it's just so interesting that was the very first question, like in bold at the top of this book, is what do you want most? Is it money, fame, power, contentment, personality, peace of mind, and happiness? The other thing that I'm excited about, and I underlined a couple of things in like the preface section, but it says, this contains some very fine material in which every leader in every walk of life should understand. It's a common sense philosophy. And this was actually, there's like a letter written by the former president and former Chief Justice of the United States. And those were his words. Every leader in every walk of life should understand. It's a common sense philosophy. And that makes me excited because I feel like I do consider myself a leader. I've always kind of known that I wanted to make significant impact and I wanted to have a big life. And that isn't just tied to money, but like I want a big, full, vibrant life. I want to be healthy. I want to be strong. I want to be just excited and in love with my life. And I have big things that I want to do. And I like that this book is something that isn't just for people who are doing what I'm doing, but like it's literally being coined as common sense. The other thing that they talk about in the preface is that there's, and I should know, I don't know if it's preface or preface, but it's too late now. All who read, understand, and apply this philosophy will be better prepared to attract and enjoy higher estates, which always have been and always will be denied to all except those who are ready for them. And I feel like we all have so much potential that's like, I'm learning, like I'm more afraid of my potential than I am of not being good at something. And I don't know if that resonates with anybody else, but like I'm more afraid of like how powerful I can be if I actually like go for it, more so than I am afraid of going for it and failing, because I think I'd rather try and be partially as successful as I hope to be than not try and settle for less than what I want. I'm just very excited about that. I also, the other pieces of this that are kind of interesting, and I don't want to like take out of context what they're saying, but they list, there's a secret in the book that I'm supposed to be able to figure out. So I'm really excited about that. That'll keep me entertained, hopefully. But there's a secret in the book that if there's 13 different principles that we're going to go through in different chapters. and they're called the Principles of Success, maybe. Okay, you're really learning that I'll probably get better at this the more that I go, but the 13 principles of, what are they called? Money making. 13 principles of money making, essential to every person who accumulates sufficient money to guarantee financial independence. So there's a secret within all of these that I'm really excited for. I'm getting an incoming call. That I'm excited to figure out and share with you. And the other piece of this that's really interesting is they list all of these different men who have followed these same principles. It's a lot of presidents, it's a lot of successful business owners. And a point that the author makes is that a lot of them had really, really meager education. And his point in saying that is not to minimize like the significance of schooling, but just to say that like understanding this will take you very, very far regardless of how much schooling you have. And I am still trying to figure out, like for me, I really value the education that I had. I was and consider myself to be a very good student. Otherwise, I don't think I'd be committing to something like this. But I also believe that there are other people that schooling just like isn't the right fit for them. And someone's success has nothing. And we all define success so differently. Like I'm not talking about financial success necessarily. I'm not talking about happiness success necessarily. I'm kind of talking about all of it. Like someone's success or ability to be successful has nothing to do with how much schooling they have. I really believe that. So it might seem like a common sense thing, but I also have known people in my life who, you know, really like judged themselves for feeling inadequate because they didn't have a certain amount of schooling. And like, I just think that's silly. Like who you are, how your potential has nothing to do with that. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to crack into the first chapter, and that also is going to coincide with the first chapter of the workbook. So that will be my second video. But I'm definitely looking forward to going through this process with you and documenting it. And I really, really hope it inspires somebody else who, I don't really consider myself an average Joe person, but like somebody who maybe hasn't really taken the time to do this, to follow along or watch these videos and decide, yeah, I'm gonna try that too. I'm gonna do that for myself. So I've got this. If you're doing it with me, we've got this, and I'll be in touch real soon.
Hey, what's up? It's Brendan. So Maddie and I decided to do something a little bit different. We keep getting recommended this book by different people. Have never read it, but we've had it for a really long time. It is called Think and Grow Rich. I'm sure a lot of you have probably heard of it because it's maybe the most famous book like this in the world. Could be, not sure. It was written in 1937 by Napoleon Hill. Like I said, we've had this actually for a really long time. I think somebody gave it to me in college maybe, and it's kind of been sitting on the shelf for a long time. So we decided we were going to read it and kind of document our thoughts behind it, just so that we can come back in, I don't know, 5, 10, 15 years and see what's changed from our thought process then to as it is now. So we decided we were going to do that. We had some really good friends fill out or send us this workbook to fill out while you can do along with it. So I got through the preface last night, but I haven't gotten into it too much. But it looks like there's like some prompts that it'll have you fill out inside the workbook. Not sure if it's like one per chapter or what, but what'll be kind of interesting is Maddie and I are going to fill out the same workbook like side by side. So I don't know, she's a little bit more better with the words than me, as you can probably tell. So I don't know, we'll see. We're going to do it together. I think, we haven't even talked about this part, but I think we're going to each read it and fill it out before we actually talk about the chapter. Stay tuned on that. Not exactly sure what's going to be the rhythm that we get into with this. I'm sure we won't be perfect. I think our goal is to do, a chapter every couple days so that we can keep on top of it. Maddie's never read a book like this. I haven't read a ton. I don't really read that much. Maddie reads, but she'll read like more romance novels and stuff like that. So I think this is her first like professional development or mindset book that she's ever written. I can see already just looking at it. I think she read this morning because she's got some underlined spots in the section that I haven't gotten to yet. But in reading the preface last night, a couple things that were kind of interesting. Like it's interesting to me that this was written like almost 90 years ago, 85 years ago. And a lot of the stuff it seems like it's still pretty applicable, but it's also like hasn't really gotten into it too much. Like it talks a lot about like the burning desire and everything like that. So it's got a couple examples in here, but really hasn't dove into it too much yet because the book hasn't started, which is a factor obviously. So I don't know, we're gonna see how this goes. It'll be kind of interesting to like, I think she and I are pretty good about I think we talk about this kind of stuff like, I think we're pretty good about being on the same page with certain things and like our mindset and goals and everything like that. But it'll be interesting to have actual prompts that we can fill out separately just to see where the other person's head is on certain things and see where our differences are and similarities are. And I think coming out of this, like, so I'm 20, I just turned 29 in September. Maddie will turn 29 next month. And so I think this is like a good time before we turn 30 next year in 2024, where, I don't know, we'll get a pretty good handle on where our head is on this kind of stuff. So no idea what to expect. I think it'll be fun. I think the workbook, like just looking at it, it seems like it's not meant to be overly complicated or anything like that. I'm not really sure what her plan is on some of these videos. Like, it looks like it wants you to, for task 1, which I'm assuming is going to be in the chapter tonight, that it's got like an exact amount of money that you want for your burning desire part. Not sure if she's going to like share exact stuff on the video or if we are or whatever, like a date, plan, all that kind of stuff. No idea what to expect. I know I've said that like 5 times, but I don't know. I'm kind of looking forward to it. We'll see. So that's all I've got to say. I don't have a ton. She's a lot more reflective than me, so I read something and I keep it all up here. So I need to do a better job of that. But I think the thing that kept sticking out to me, well, the preface, like, I don't know. She said she talked for 18 minutes when she filmed her section. No idea what she talked about for 18 minutes because it kind of was just setting up the book here for the first 10 pages. So I should have more next video. So I'll see you then.